What's going on, everybody? It's Intelligent Cycle. So, I'm gonna do like a quick thoughts or a quick recap of what happened in the playoffs. Quick thoughts of the NBA playoffs in the first round. So, I just did thoughts about what happened with the Lakers and Timberwolves, and gonna talk about Game 4 today, and gonna talk about more the Pacers and the Bucks game 4 that's gonna happen, I believe, tomorrow, and then the Celtics and the Magic play today at 7. So I'll talk about those. But before I get to that, um, I wanted to talk about a little bit with the Nuggets and the Clippers. So, yeah, the Nuggets won by the score of 101 to 99. Very low scoring defensive battle between both of these teams. I said this series is probably going to go 6, maybe 7 games, but I had the Clippers winning it. The main thing that the Clippers need to work on is Ty Lue needs to get better with his rotations, and he needs to really stop trying to play guys, giving guys unnecessary minutes. Ben Simmons does not need those kind of minutes. Bogdanovich is not producing, so you do not need to play those guys at all because them guys is not giving you much of nothing. Nick Batum really should be getting many more minutes in there. You need to sell up and develop plays more for Christian Dunn as well, along with Kawhi Leonard taking over. And James Harden has got to be better. You cannot go games, and I'm going to just go for an example. You cannot have games where you're going having 15 points, 11 assists in 43 minutes. You cannot go in 43 minutes in a playoff game and have that many points and have in 43 minutes. That just basically means you're just out there just for show. You got to be producing a lot better, and if you want to get the Clippers over the edge and over the hump, you cannot have games like that. And it is not typically new for James Harden for not showing up in the playoffs because I've seen this happen time and time and time and time again. He has got to show up as much in the playoffs as he possibly can, and so that kind of puts the onus on overall on the way that the setup, like you do the hot pick and roll that he does with Zubac. You need to have him do that more and have him attack the paint. He cannot be settling for shots. And then you need to set up more plays for Nick Batum and Chris Dunn. And Derrick Jones needs to get more minutes in the game and off the bench as well. He needs to get more playing time in order for them to you would think the role players would be better and will be played a lot better at home than what they was on the road. So they got to be able to produce more and got to be able to put more energy in it. But for the Nuggets, Jokic, I'm not really as impressed because of him having this is his 19th or 20th game with a triple double, but this time he had a double double in this game. He had 36 and 21. But everybody else was kind of like in double figures, like 5 players in double figures. Jamal Murray, you're not gonna win games when Jamal Murray has 13 points in 42 minutes and only having 7 and 7. Or Michael Porter Jr. only having 17. He has to produce more as well. You got to be able to put more onus in where the game is flowing, where it's going. So that to me is got to be a synergy in the way that the Nuggets is going to have to be able to get things rolling and get things going. So I could see this series going 6, possibly 7 games. This is going to be a very tight one for me. And I'll just say this. Both teams were struggling from the field, from the 3-point line, and from the free throw line. So they was pretty much struggling for the entire game. Both had the same amount of points in the paint. So it's nothing really to recap about because very low scoring, gritty, and grinding kind of out game. But I will say this though. If the Clippers want to win this series, they have got to play better and have an earlier start and have an earlier head start than what things are going to. And then also, if the Nuggets want to win this series, they have got to show. Jokic has got to show up in these games. Excuse me, not Jokic, but Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray's got to show up in these games and really produce and really shine in order for them to get things rolling, get things flowing. So that's just what I see from them. And to me, oh man, kid, hey, how's it going? How you doing? I'm doing okay. Uh, yeah, and so getting back to what I was saying about the game. Yeah, that's the main thing. The Nuggets have got to produce pretty much ways they got to produce a numerous amount of ways, and to me, they got to start off fast. They got to go get off to a hot start, and they got to move the ball around if they want to win this series. But for the Clippers, which I picked them to win in 6 games, they have got to come off and have a better head start than what things are than where I consider, man. And I got to see more coming from them because you cannot have games where James Harden is only scoring 15 points in 43 minutes. That's just unacceptable. As far as a guy who was supposedly supposed to be on this superstar level, but Aaron Gordon's buzzer beater after Jokic missed the shot was the main difference and why the Nuggets was over the top. So salute to them and salute to him, for coming through in the clutch. You can see why the Magic, kind of like had their way and didn't really didn't need him because they wanted to pay. He wanted money, max amount of money that the Nuggets was. I mean, excuse me, that the Magic didn't want to offer him because they figured he was just gonna be a role player, and that's what he pretty much is with the Nuggets. So yeah, just guy in the rotation, guy who's playing his role and playing his part. So that's just how I see from that side. So that's my overall recap from the Nuggets and the Clippers. So we're gonna move on from that and get to the Rockets and the Warriors. So the Warriors win by the score of 104-93, without Jimmy Butler, who is still out with the nagging right ankle injury. The thing about the Rockets is the Rockets to me are a team that's very as young, inexperienced. Like I said before when I previewed the playoffs, um, and several live streams, several days ago, in my other live stream previewing the playoffs, they're pretty much young and inexperienced. And Steph Curry, and they don't have no answers for Steph Curry at all. He's just pretty much getting to every which way spot he can get to, we can possibly get to. Now you do have Shea Goom, Dylan Brooks, and Ben Thompson, and Jabari Smith all in double figures, but that just wasn't enough to me. And I do think overall the ability the Rockets do have enough size to stay with the Warriors. But Steph Curry, when he has 36 points in 41 minutes, and Brandon Pajinski in double figures, and Buddy Hield in double figures, along with Gary Payton coming off the bench in double figures as well, that's a problem. That's an absolute problem, and it's going to be the difference. And I think the experience is going to matter in this case. And if the Warriors do end up winning Game 4, I think they're pretty much going to take the series and see what and think and what's going to happen is it's going to be a thing where it is not going to be an easy feat for them. It's not going to be an easy. It's not going to be an easy role getting into the Western Conference semis or the Western Conference Finals because you got to go a roll. Got to go to the road of seeing either the Timberwolves or the Lakers, and then you're more than likely going to see the OKC Thunder in the conference finals. So it's not going to be an easy road for them if they want to get far to where they at. And if Steph Curry ends up winning a fifth title, which I don't think that's going to happen in this year, but if he ends up winning a fifth title, we're going to start having those tough conversations about him being in that top 10, possibly top 5 GOAT discussion. And I'm not talking about point guards. I'm talking about all-time greatest players because his accomplishments is going to be absolutely unparalleled. And for me, the Warriors was able to dominate in the paint. They was able to dominate in the paint. They was able to shoot better from the field, while the Rockets completely struggled from the field and the free throw line. The 3-point line, it was all right. The Warriors kind of was taking a lot more threes than what I would imagine. And although the Rockets had more rebounds than the Warriors, and they had more, both of them actually had more blocks. Um, the Warriors caused more turnovers. They were attacking the passing lanes and finishing in transition. And my thing is, if the Warriors if the Warriors win this series, and that's a big possibility, a big if, I think more than likely it's gonna be one of those things where they are going to have to take it from them. They're gonna have to eventually just put their onus in what Steph Curry's gonna be doing, and then Jimmy Butler ends up coming back, which he probably will be back sooner rather than later. Um, but I don't want to rush that kind of injury. Hopefully he has a good recovery. But if he does come back and they do end up taking this series, it's going to be problems for a lot of teams. And going into deeper into the postseason. So yeah, the Warriors to me just had the experience and had the overall capability. They move the ball around, have really good rotations. Steph Curry is very versatile. He moves the ball around himself, gets to his open spots, feeds the big man in the paint like Kevon Looney, or he feeds the athletic forward, small forwards and powers like Draymond Green and Jonathan Kuminga. So that really keeps him and gets him open and gets him to his sweet spot. So those are just things that I would say look out for if you're the Rockets. But to me, the Rockets just don't have that guy who is a star power, who has star presence. They just have guys who are just all right, but very, very inexperienced. So those are my thoughts for that game. Now let's talk about the Cavaliers and the Miami Heat. So the Cavaliers won by the score of 124-87. That's the Cavs lead the series 3 games to nothing, which more than likely they will close the series out. Um, the difference with the Cavaliers adding DeAndre Hunter in the game really proved to be the difference, and we end up seeing how much that affected them overall. And DeAndre Hunter had 21 points, added in 20 minutes in his rotation. Ty Jerome off the bench, 13 points. He's been pretty much all up in his own. He dominated since game 1 of these first round of these playoffs with 28 points. He was like 5 for 7 from the 3-point line. He was absolutely on fire. And then Max Struss coming in, picking up the slack with 18. Donovan Mitchell really didn't do so much in 30 minutes. He only had 13 points. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen were pretty much the difference. Big man present wise. They dominated the basket, had a lot of lobs and dunks, and ability to attack in transition as well from the guard play. So that was pretty much where we stand with that one. And for the Miami Heat, pretty much was only Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Hero completely struggled from the field. And Andrew Wiggins did not really do much of presence at all. But Davion Mitchell had 16 points. Duncan Robinson didn't do much of nothing. And also the difference is the Cavaliers shot better from the field, the free throw line, out rebounded them, had way more assists, more steals, less turnovers, and pretty much attack everything. So the Cavaliers was pretty much dominant in the paint. It's what we saw from them. And to me, we saw how much the effect of adding DeAndre Hunter and the effect of having Evan Mobley and Jared Allen both in the starting lineup was a key difference and a key successor for them. So I could definitely see what's going to go on and what's happening and what could be the case. So I like where things are going. I like where things are going for them. So that would be for the Cavs. So more likely they will close out game 4, win the series. Cause I don't see Miami coming back from a 3-0 deficit. I just don't see that happening. I don't think they have the talent or the overall, you know, presence. And I just think that it's just time. It's just time for them and time for us to move on from them because I think they're pretty much have overstayed their welcome. So those are my thoughts about the Cavs and the Miami Heat. So now let's get to game. Let's get to game. Let's start with game 4 between the Knicks and the Pistons. I'll just talk about that briefly, real quick. So as I already did a live breakdown of game 3 from the previous night, we saw that the Pistons just Cade Cunningham, if he ever had a presence of what we saw, what went down, if he ever had absolved, the missed opportunities, and Jalen Duren and Holland didn't get in so much foul trouble. A lot of the Pistons players didn't get into foul trouble. The game would have been completely different and completely lopsided. A lot of bad calls, bad officiating. Jalen Brunson struggled for the entire game until in the fourth quarter. He started to come through, hit some fadeaways, hit a couple of big 3-pointers. Karl Anthony Towns had 25. Excuse me. Karl Anthony Towns had 30 points in game 3, and OG Anunoby had 22 points. Miguel Bridges had 18, and Jalen Brunson had 26 for the entire game. So that was pretty much the difference in what they win 118 to 116. So that was the big difference in that game. So to me, what's gonna happen in Game 4 is, I think the Pistons need to send a message and say something. If they want to continue to be in this series and make this tough, grind it out kind of game, they have got to come through in the clutch and do their thing. They cannot settle for jumpers. They cannot settle for anything. They cannot go for any kind of false play. They have got to come through and settle down and really, really take their time with it. And JB Bickerstaff has got to get them guys under control, the emotions. They cannot let this game get riled up like they did in Game 3, because the calls is not going to go their way. The out of bounds play calls is not going to go their way. Officials want their teams to move on, and they're gonna call the game how they feel like and how they see it. So, in order for them to get things rolling, the Pistons have got to get off to a fast and a hot start, because the way you start off in Game 3 was over 7 from the field, 1 for 8. Till Cunningham hit that big shot that kind of got them energized, got them guys energetic, and got the game flowing. You cannot have games like that. You gotta get off to a fast start. You gotta attack the paint and get in transition, get open looks, good looks, and good perimeter shots. That's pretty much how you're gonna beat the Knicks. Because I don't think the Knicks, to me, down the stretch, really are gonna be able to withstand a lot of the pressure. Besides maybe Brunson, but I just don't think he's gonna be enough. So my thoughts is, I think the Pistons could win this game tonight. I think they will win this game tonight. It's gonna be a very much of a close one, but we'll see how that goes. Um, let's talk about the Celtics and Magic. I never got a chance to talk about this one. So, Game 4 between the Celtics and the Magic. The Magic did win Game 3, so more likely this series will go to 5. I think the Celtics will pretty much take this game tonight. I think losing Game 3, especially, I don't even know if Jason Tatum played in that game the other day. Paulo Banchero and Franz Wagner were the difference, and I believe that just their presence was able to just withstand a lot of things. Wendell Carter, they need to really change their starting lineup and take Wendell Carter out and put Jonathan Isaacs in the game. I think that would pretty much be the difference, and as well as take Corey Joseph out and put Cole Anthony there, because I don't know why Corey Joseph is still in the starting lineup. That, to me, is a boneheaded decision on my end. On their end, and I really think that overall they got to move rotations in their lineup better, and they got to get off to a hot start, because if they don't, it's pretty much going to be a wrap for them. And to me, even though the Celtics have more experience and have more to gain than more to lose, the Magic have nothing to lose, in my opinion. But make this an interesting series. But to me, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Drew Holiday, are been the main big keys to really get them over the top. Kristaps Porzingis' ability to alter shots, to attack the basket, and draw a couple of picks, couple of movements, couple of picks, couple of screens. His ability to get towards the rim, their ability to get to the free throw line, because they're one of the best free throw shooting teams in the league. So that was the one difference that the Celtics have that's going to push them over the edge. So, and also Al Horford and Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench, I think that's going to be a huge factor, like it was the previous year when they went over the Mavericks. So my thoughts is, I believe the Celtics will win tonight. I can see the score being like 110 to 104, 112 to like 105 or something. I can see that being the case. And to me, that's gonna be my input on it. And we'll see how it goes. And tell me, who do you guys think, and who do you guys have between the Knicks and the Pistons, or the Celtics and the Magic? Tell me what you guys think about that. And tell me what you guys also think about the Lakers and the Timberwolves tonight in Game 4. Who you have that in that game as well. So, yeah, after this, I'm going to probably get out of here, guys. I got a few more errands to run, and I got to head to work. So, I want to thank you guys for joining the stream and watching. So, please like, share, and subscribe. Really helps the algorithm. It really helps the page. So, Thank you guys for being here, and I will do more of like a. I'll probably do a live breakdown tonight with the. I'll probably do the Lakers and Timberwolves tonight, and if I do have time, I'll probably do a breakdown of the Knicks and Pistons for Game 4 if I do have time. But yeah, and if I do have some more news, more movie news, and more TV show news, I just finished up You Season 5, and yeah, that season was absolutely insane. But yeah, I'll talk about that more in another stream. So I want to thank you guys for watching this page and watching this stream. So like, share, subscribe. I am out of here. Peace.